At AEW Forbidden Door, Mercedes Moné took on a female wrestler by the name of Stephanie Vaquer. Not sure how you say her last name, and I do apologize for that. And the reason why I am bringing her up is because today it has been announced and confirmed that she had now apparently signed with WWE. This took me by surprise, because I did see the rumors that WWE were interested in her, and I also know AEW were also interested in signing her as well, but somehow she chose WWE over AEW, and I'm very, very interested into why she decided to go to WWE instead of AEW. But I'm not here to pick a side. I'm not here to say where she should have gone or she made a terrible decision or upon that. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those wrestling fans that curse the wrestler for not choosing the company that I wanted them to be in. To me, it doesn't matter what promotion she's in. She left CMLL, which is a Mexican promotion. Her final match was against Tessa Blanchard. I think a lot of people may know that name. But she didn't put her over. She actually beat Tessa Blanchard. So Stephanie wasn't willing to do the JOB on her way out the door. I mean, it's Tessa Blanchard. She doesn't deserve that honor anyway. So, yes, and for those wondering, yes, I do know who Stephanie Vaquer is. I'm not going to say her last name, it's too hard to say. But I do know who Stephanie is. I've seen her match at Forbidden Door with Mercedes, and I also saw the one match she had against Mercedes when Mercedes was still wrestling for New Japan and Stardom when they booted up the New Japan Strong Championship. Mercedes had a match against her as well in that particular matchup as well. So, I am very well aware of it. So, I'm very well aware of who she is. And I actually think she's a very, very good wrestler from what I've seen of her. But the reason why I am making this video is because I'm actually really excited to see her debut in WWE, to see where they go with her. I'm kind of hoping that, I'm guessing they might be setting her up to possibly fight Roxanne at some point. Or maybe they should build her up first before they put her in that position. I mean, hell, if they're giving Ethan Page the NXT Championship in six weeks, I don't think they'll have no problems rushing the NXT Championship on her too. But the reason why I said I was surprised by her choosing to go to WWE is mainly because I didn't think WWE would have been interested in her, and I also kind of think it's a bit of a coincidence that WWE all of a sudden became interested in her because of her match at Forbidden Door. Isn't that a coincidence? That they had no idea who this girl is, but then after watching one match that she had against Mercedes at Forbidden Door, they're like, right, send her a contract. We need her. I just think that's a little bit of a coincidence. I'm not judging Stephanie's choice. In my opinion, she can do whatever she wants. It's her career, she can decide where she wants to go. But I'm only saying this because I think WWE had no idea who she was prior to the Forbidden Door match. Unless maybe they already have known who she is, then maybe I'm willing to eat my words on that. But I feel like, I personally feel they did not know who she was before the Forbidden Door. But all I'm willing to say is that she did what she felt was right for her. And one of the biggest things that I get very fed up with when it comes to the wrestling community, and it goes both ways. I'm not picking sides here, by the way. I'm not picking sides. I'm telling you all, it happens on both sides of the coin. When a ex-WWE superstar leaves WWE to go to AEW or a different promotion, the WWE fans will turn on the wrestler that leaves WWE and goes to a different promotion. They will say, oh, this person wasn't good anyway, or they will make fun of them for deciding to leave WWE and, you know, wanting to bet on themselves and go to a different promotion. But then AEW will also do the same thing when they've done, I think they've done the same thing for Ethan Page when he left AEW. They've done the same thing when Cody Rhodes left. You know, they did the same thing when Jade Cargill left as well. Like, so what I'm trying to say is that doesn't matter if it's AEW or if it's WWE, wrestling fans will always be hypocritical and will always be fickle by basically getting offended when a wrestler doesn't go to the promotion that they want them to be. Or they leave their favorite promotion and they go somewhere else. So, AEW not signing Stephanie was quite a bit of a surprise, but also maybe this is a formula maybe they need to stop doing. Having free agents or having free agents appear on their shows, and then that allows other companies to swoop in, because some person said that AEW needs to stop having free agents just turning up on their shows, which that will allow companies like WWE to swoop in. I mean, you can't really say that about Julia. I mean, Julia's never been in the United States. WWE signed Julia while she was still in Stardom. But the point that I am making is that she made the decision and the wrestling fans are offended because she went to another company and didn't go to the company they wanted. Yes, AEW can't sign everyone, but neither can WWE. WWE can't sign everyone, which is why I got annoyed when WWE fans were pissed that Mercedes Moné chose to go to AEW instead of returning to the Fed, as what a lot of people say now, because that's what WWE used to be called back in the day. Wrestlers can make their own decisions, and you are not the ones in charge of these wrestlers' decisions, and you do not tell these wrestlers what they can and can't do. And I feel like that's the biggest issue I have with the wrestling community, is that they will always say, if they have a favorite company, they'll want every single wrestler in their favorite company. And yes, it goes for WWE fans too. I'm not saying this as a direct shot at the AEW fans. I am saying on both sides of the coin when it comes to WWE fans and AEW fans. And this is kind of the reason why I really hate these kinds of fans who are... I mean, yeah, you'll always have your fans that are loyal to one show over the other, which that is perfectly fine. If you want to be loyal to one show over the other, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine, and that's understandable. But the weird thing is that those kinds of fans can kind of be a big major problem. Those kinds of fans can be a real nuisance. Though it's fine to be loyal to one promotion, but they can also be they can also be a big, massive nuisance, where they will bitch about WWE people leaving WWE to go to another promotion, or they'll get, and vice versa with AEW. A friend of mine told me about this a few days ago, and I understood where he came from in that aspect, because you got NXT working with TNA, and you got NXT people, like, you got NXT fans who've never seen or heard of Joe Hendry giving him massive ovations and clapping their hands to his theme music. Like, how in the world would WWE fans know who Joe Hendry is, even though WWE fans are like, they watch one thing instead of the other. Same thing with Jordan Grace. Now, I feel the NXT audiences are probably like very much indie wrestling fans that watch all promotions. Because remember, NXT Black and Gold was very, very similar. When guys like Aleister Black debuted, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Those fans knew who they were. NXT audiences, I feel like the NXT audiences are way different. If we heard say his name and he appears on an episode of Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown, it probably would have been a completely different story. The fans might not have popped for him, or they may be thinking, who the hell is this guy? That was really my only defense to how WWE fans would know who Joe Hendry is, but other than that, even I didn't even know who the hell Joe Hendry was until recently. But all I'm saying is that he said that whenever AEW debut people from CMLL or Lucha Underground, AAA, or any other kind of promotion where people would just be scratching their heads wondering who the hell this person is, but then NXT is having Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace and even the Rascals turn up. And the Rascals turn up, and all of a sudden they know who these people are. So, I feel this TNA partnership that WWE has with TNA could very well be causing WWE fans to watch TNA. So that way they will know who these wrestlers are. I think that is how we answer the question on how people know who Joe Hendry is. Because it could very well be possible that NXT fans start watching TNA, or WWE fans start watching TNA because they're in now a working partnership. That's possibly the only answer I can really give to all this, but the bottom line is that I feel wrestling fans, sometimes they will, a lot of the time, they will ruin things because they would rather things go their way. So Stephanie signing with WWE was definitely a big major surprise to me. And honestly, I don't know how WWE are gonna treat her. I feel like WWE signed her just to snatch her from AEW. At least that's what I think. Why they signed her, but it could very well be possible that the AEW offer she got wasn't as good as the AEW offer. That could be the other thing. She could have just chosen the offer that was more bigger and possibly the better choice. But my point is, wrestlers make their own decisions, and we as fans should be supportive of these people. Even if you've known these people for the longest time, you should be supportive. It's very, very coincidence that the AEW fans, maybe not all of them, but majority of them, have pretty much started shitting on Stephanie ever since she lost to Mercedes, and now they're talking crap about her because she didn't choose to sign with AEW. I think, as a community, we all should be very supportive and respecting these wrestlers' decisions, which is why I kind of get quite upset whenever I see people getting angry at, people that I like leaving WWE and going to different promotions. Like, they want to bet on themselves. Like, it's okay, like, they use that term a lot. Bet on yourself. Like, that term only applies to WWE fans. The bet on yourself term only applies if you're leaving, an indie promotion and you come to WWE and all that shit. Like, every wrestler's betting on themselves. Ash by Elegance, when she left WWE to go to TNA, she's now betting on herself. Mercedes is betting on herself. Everyone that goes to different areas are betting on themselves, and they're all having the time of their lives. I feel like some wrestlers are having way more fun outside of WWE, like Ash by Elegance and Mercedes Moné, for example. They're having way more fun outside of WWE, and if that's if that's how they feel, then that's great. Some wrestlers might be having more fun in WWE after leaving AEW, and that's great. That's what wrestling's all about. It's all about having fun. That's what wrestling is all about, having fun. And I feel, and this is why I'm getting but wrestling fans don't like fun. Wrestling fans would rather butt heads with each other. They would rather butt heads with each other, fight each other, and argue over which promotions are better. Let's make wrestling fun. Let's make wrestling fun. This is not a war. This is all about wrestling is supposed to be fun. So huge congratulations to WWE on signing Stephanie Vaquer. Again, I apologize for botching her last name. And I guess we'll see how WWE goes with her. I'm quite the fan of, I think she's quite talented from the 2 matches that I saw of her against Mercedes. So I'm very curious to see how WWE handles her. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.